Hi. Hi. Is anyone there? How's it going? Alright, yep, we're live. So today we're going to be creating a lamp uh, to indicate checkpoints and also as an environment thing that interacts with the player. Um, so we're using our little highly restricted default color palette that I made up. Let's start drawing the lamp. So again, following the workflow, just generally block it out. Do a bit of block out for the lamp. Wanted to have sort of a witch hat kind of look, but like gosh, my throat is actually so dead today. That's great. You know what? That's a good enough lamp for now. So what I'm doing here is I'm just gonna start by blocking out the approximate shape of the lamp, and then do some shading, shading for it, and then I guess let's try lock alpha. No, I think we have to do shading. So roughly something like that. Okay, so that's probably good enough for now. I'll add some more details later. So let's just make a lamp, save that, and then let's go to GameMaker. So while GameMaker's loading up, I'm gonna go to the bathroom because I kind of had to rush to the stream today. I'm very bad at scheduling, for the record. I don't know how to schedule things, so. Alrighty, guess who's back? And look, GameMaker's even loaded up. How convenient. Alrighty. Now that we're in GameMaker, let's start by importing some of the assets that uh, another very talented artist is has made, who I'm working with. Think she made like the tiles. Sent from iPad. Okay, so I just download this. If I can even click on the image, hold on. Hang on, please, please give me a moment. Where is it? So we have, okay, found it. So it's in downloads, and if I put it in, there we go. That texture looks a lot better than my attempt at a texture for the environment. She's a lot better at like environment art and stuff. Let's just should probably link her itch.io. Actually, yeah, check her stuff out. I'll link her itch in the chat. Itch.io / what was it? That's the ish.io page. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, let's replace this garbage texture real quick. Let's just replace it. No point in keeping it around at this point. So how do I... I need to scale it up. Well, okay, let's try... Scale it back up. So, from my observation, something's definitely went horribly wrong. The middle slice doesn't seem to actually be sliced correctly. Let's go to a 9 slice and let's fix that real quick. Let's fix that. So I'm gonna guess that this is probably the best, the part here should, about here, should be, sliced. About like that, I guess. Yep. That's good enough. And then, I guess we could, let's select the center and let's just make it repeat. About the sides, I should probably just, I don't think the mirroring works very well, so let's repeat it. How does the texture look? I mean, it looks okay. I don't know if the stretching has done the texture any favors. I don't think it did. Ah! Great, okay. Sorry. My throat's really not doing good today. I'm trying to manage this despite that. Okay, so clearly this texture is sort of fine, but also there's definitely a bit of issue with how I sliced it up. So let's try moving that a little bit and just go back and see what happens. Does that look better? Not really. No, I think the way to like minimize the effect of this is probably to use some kind of like, I guess some kind of variation or something to make this a bit better. Although I think that from just playing the game, it looks fine. There's definitely some issues with like, maybe it's a better idea to separate the layers of the actual like cracks and stuff, but other than that, it looks fine. I guess I'm not actually sure if it looks fine. I don't know if it looks good. I certainly am not the judge. I think that crack over there should probably be Should probably be better to separate them into different layers. Heck, I think it might be the best idea if we actually separated the cracks and stuff into a separate layer. Um, how would that be done? I mean, I guess I could probably. You know what? It's probably okay to leave it like this for now. Um, oh gosh, that looks horrible. I'm sorry, but that part doesn't look good. Everything else about it is fine, but that part just doesn't look good. I mean, the the crack, it's not supposed to. God, my throat is so giving up on me today. But yeah, no, that part doesn't look good. It's kind of my fault though. I definitely, I think it's my mistake here that's causing it to do this. Like, that shouldn't be how it's done. That's kind of just my fault. I should probably, like, the way that I set up the actual stretching probably does not do it any favors. The texture itself looks amazing, but when you try to stretch the texture like that, it just doesn't look good. I think the tiling issue can be fixed much better if there was like some more variation on how the tiles looked. But for now, I'll just leave it like this. I think that it looks fine if I just pretended like the cracks weren't there, and then like layered on the cracks later. Actually, you know what? No, let's do that right now. Okay, so the job here for me is just to fix up the just to remove all the cracks on the surfaces. Make sure the surfaces are completely flawless with no defects, and then add the defects afterwards. Like after it's already like after it's already scaled, then I can add the defects on the surface. So probably something like that should be good enough. Right, so we're gonna put that there. We're gonna just get rid of that crack through the middle, and we are probably fine. This is probably okay. So that way, if we scale this back to, yeah, let's check our rooms. How does it look? I mean, it looks better. It's definitely repetition, but I think it's a little less obvious with this kind of thing. Should I change how the 9 slicing is done? I think that could be part of the problem. And then the next step would be to separate all the cracking. And then the next step would be to separate all of the cracking onto the actual I guess, lower layers. I mean, no, layers above the thing to make it look better. Although I do think that maybe it's better to, instead of any of that, I could also do it with, could be better idea just to ask the the other artists working with me to revise this. I think the texture can wait. For now, this looks fine, and I'm personally fine with it. So we're gonna roll with it because why not, right? I'm sure that somebody's gonna not very much enjoy this texture, but personally, I think it's good. I think it's pretty good, and that I have the final say. So yeah, I have the final say to think that this texture is pretty good. The source, my opinion. Um, yeah, this should probably be better to revise this. It should probably be a better idea just to revise this texture. I'm gonna leave this here and get back to it later. Now, as for everything else, uh, we need to create a lamp. Let's create something like nope, not a sprite. What am I doing? Nope, 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 no, 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 no. Let's call this object the lamp. Let's paste. Let's go ahead and import the sprite. Why don't we? So let's just let's go ahead and let's go back to a sprite. We need to make another lamp state for when the lamp is off. I'm just going to quickly draw that in. Gosh, I haven't actually set up the hotkeys to actually swap it automatically, so it's going to be a bit scuffed, but it's fine. And while we're at it, let's create a new layer of like the little glowing effect. So we're gonna achieve that by basically I think that the best way to achieve the glowing effect is by putting that there and putting some dots, dotting all the bright spots a little bit, and then using the jumble tool at like 50% opacity and zoom it down a little bit. Let's jumble it. Let's just keep jumbling it until it looks good enough. So now, off, on, off, on. That looks good. I do think that maybe the light should be like, okay, that looks a lot more intense. I need to jumble the light down a little bit. And then let's grab an eraser and just like clean up the edges a little bit. Well, okay, the lighting should be like this. Let's go ahead and stretch out the canvas a little bit. Cool. Okay, that's good enough. And then we export as a, sure, call it a GIF. I did not mean to close out A-Sprite, whatever. Let's go back to GameMaker. I'll reopen A-Sprite. Then let's go back to the Make GameMaker and let's import the lamp. Put that into sprites. And then let's make sure the frame rate is 0 so it doesn't actually update the frames. Let's create our create event. Let's create a function for when, function for turning it on, which is literally just going ahead and saying, all right, well, we're done. Thank you all for watching. That's it. That's the entire video. We're done. We made the lamp. This was very complicated and challenging. No, I'm kidding. That's not everything. There's a lot more going on. So now I need checkpoints to actually I should probably add something here to the draw step to make the image render like all the other sprite images, whereas like when you draw it, it draws by pixel rounded, blah 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 blah. You know how this works, I hope. Let's just do that. That's our image index. That's fine. Um, so so the purpose of this is to make sure the lamp actually draws itself on the actual like correct part of the correct pixel, so it's not like half a pixel away from like the center of a pixel and it's really off and weird. Okay. Okay. And then to ensure that the checkpoints actually like have a correct lamp, let's try doing something. Let's just as a possibility, let's try creating a lamp at this position and then raycasting it, move it downwards so that it actually, so like something like lamp this checkpoint lamp is equal to instance create layer x plus. How does the player determine where they respawn? I need to actually check this. Okay, so we grab the checkpoint and then we create. That's probably not very good practice, actually. Okay, how about instead we go to the checkpoints code and we define a function that finds this for us. Instance respawn position, and then we just we return array of x plus offset x multiplied by check sprite with y plus offset y times. Okay. And then we can go back to player and just instance respawn position Go to player. Okay, next. And go back to here. And then let's move down Y by 50 and then only collide to world collidable. Actually, let's just move down a lot and see what happens. Oh, also, side note, add something here where if it's colliding to the player, lamp dot check point lamp dot turn on. Okay, let's test our code out. Oh, it crashes. Awesome. Awesome. Wait, what's the crash? What was the crash again? Oh, right. No, I made a mistake. Oh, shoot. Something went wrong. Okay. How about... Okay, hold on. Is the hitbox for the lamp actually correct? Let's see, what is our collision mask looking like? That looks fine. Okay, so that's fine, but also the lamp is absolutely not in the right place. That's kind of strange, actually. It's really strange. Why would that be the case? Why should that be the case? What is going wrong? Why does not the lamp not... Okay, how about 90 steps? Oh, that's the issue, right? So, if I understand correctly, the issue here is the fact that actually the lamp sprite, if we notice here, is not correctly centered. What am I doing with my life? Okay, let's just put that there. Alright, now it's actually showing up correctly. And the player responds at where the lamp is. Oh, nice. And now, yep. The lamp is always where the player responds. Every time. Yep, correct. And then it also indicates where the checkpoints are, which is very nice. Why does the lamp not show up correctly? Hold on. Okay, how about maybe it's the steps for physics motion that isn't correct. No, that's still not it. Okay, how about I just leave that parameter empty? Does that work? No, it doesn't. It still does not work. Alright, what if I made it move? Oh, whoops. There it goes. It's gone. Great. 300 and then make it take. That is really strange, actually. Why is that happening? how does the arrow motion get handled? Shoot. Does it work? I think it does. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm currently leaning in very close to the screen just to check that the pixels actually line up. Okay, so the checkpoint indicators now they work. I mean, it also exposes that level 2 might be a little too concentrated in terms of checkpoints. I think we can probably remove one checkpoint layer object. Something like that. That should be fine. Yeah, okay. So the environmental aspect of environmental lamps and stuff, they do help quite a bit. So now the question is, can I make the animation for the lamps fancier? And the answer to that is probably, but I'm not gonna bother. So let's nice. Okay. Now for the next task on the table, vine effects. for when the player actually grapples onto stuff. So let's go back to our beloved A sprite. Now let's look at our vine animation. So this is what I want the animation to look like. So, you know, a vine forms really quickly and then disappears. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's save that, export it, and yeah, sure, whatever. So, ooh. I'm gonna try something. Let's see what it looks like if it's interlaced. Let's find out what the texture looks like if it's interlaced. That seems interesting. For the record, I don't think this is necessarily a good idea, just an interesting idea that's worth an attempt, if nothing else. Because I haven't actually played around with interlacing animations. So let's wait, hold on, where did A-Sprite go? Okay, let's go back to Game Maker. Okay. That doesn't look interlaced. Why is that the case? Okay, well, that's weird. Let's just export it normally then. File, export, find.gif. Actually, I should probably trim the canvas beforehand, not after. So let's just let's adjust our canvas real quick. So we should have 1 pixel margins on the edges. Okay. Okay. Now let's go ahead and re-import that thing that I just trimmed down back into here. Let's call this the vines. Right. Let's center this time because that's probably going to be very relevant. So here's how the animation currently looks. Make sure the frame rate is correct. Okay, that's good. Now let's create a... Wonder how this will be handled if it's rotated. Whatever. I think I'll do that later. The rotation can wait. Now as for the vine, let's make sure that we're using 9 slicing. Activate, selected slice top. And make it repeat. And then let's scale it up by 3. 28 plus 24. 24. Okay, so that would be okay. So that is done, I think. And then we can put that into our that's actually a question I haven't thought about. How would I make the players? You know what, let's just try. Let's try. Can we draw a line where there is supposed to be let's just delete all of that. Let's give it no draw function so that it doesn't draw itself. And then let's create the effects, or whatever it's called. So we take our vines and we let's try instead. Let's try let's create a vine effect object. Let's make it And then we can set the position of this object to let's draw our shape at let's draw sprite extended. Let's paste in. So let's put in the basic information. Sprite index image index, that kind of MacGuffin. But now for the fun part, let's set the x lerp x player.x lerp y player.y, and then factor of 0.5. Rotation, we can set that to arctan. Radians to degrees of arctan 2 x minus x y minus player dot y. How do I do this? Let's calculate the point distance of x, y, player dot x, player dot y. And then let's just, yeah, that'll be fine. That's fine. So now the next step is just to implement it where the hook will create a bind effect object with a parent player parent. I'm fully expecting this to go horribly wrong, but I feel like I'm tripping. First of all, the X scale is completely wrong, and then also the rotation is wrong. So, I mean, it looks like some cool party lasers or whatever, but it's not it. That's not it, Chief. This ain't it, Chief. Let's try dividing that by our sprite width. And then let's take the negative of that, and then let's try that again. Did I forget to put a negative here as well? How many negatives does it take to make this work correctly? I am from the I'm a programmer, so I'm from the trial and error school of math. If it's not obvious. Also, the sprites aren't deleting themselves, which means ooh, I forgot to set the parent of this object. How about this? Now the effect should at least disappear after it happens. Okay, how about... Okay, but let's just unparent it for a moment, just to make sure that I'm not, like, tripping or anything, because I absolutely could be, and it wouldn't even be the first time. Okay, that's just wrong now. It goes from vaguely correct into absolutely horribly wrong. I think the initial arctan is correct. It's just that we need to add 90 degrees. Okay, now it's working. I have become the vine monster. I don't know what I'm doing. This is not how it's supposed to work, for the record. It's just that I'm testing that the connection rendering is actually working fine, and it looks like it is. Okay, now if I parent it, and try again. Is it okay if the style is inconsistent for one of the key actions of the game? Personally, I think it's probably okay. And the justification for that is mostly because, I mean, honestly, if it looks off a little different from everything else, it's kind of obvious what you should be focusing on. So maybe that's actually better. I'm open for feedback, so you know, it's fine, whatever. Okay. Let's quickly go back to the hook. Let's create. Let's create it at a depth instead, and let's create it at the depth of like minus 1,000 depth. So very much closer to the camera, hopefully. What's happening to the stream? Hold on. No, it's fine. Okay. How does it look when the arrows are grappled? Hold on. Okay, so let's make the vine effect just a tad bit longer. Alright, so now the vine effect should stand out even if you're grappling pretty close. Okay, so I'm just gonna start cutting frames off the animation until it feels right. I think it might be easier for me if I separated the layers of the effect. So probably go back and actually change all of that real quick. Let's go back. Let's go back to our little thing over here. So the vine effect is really, the emphasis of the vine effect is 1, 2, 3, like that. Dot 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 dot. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So these frames are the vine effect. So we can separate this effect up here. So the effect of the vine is only here. And as for the eraser thing, yeah, okay. But as for the other effects, the layers on top of it, these can be thought of better as particles on top of the for vine effect. These shouldn't be following the player, so they should be on a separate layer so that can be programmed differently and do a different thing instead of following the player. And then also, I think in this case, this layer could use a bit of transparency. So let's change the color mode into RGB color, and let's make this layer much more interesting by using a little bit of a blob. Let's shade it a little bit like that. And then, lights coming in from the middle here. Let's blob it up. Let's blob it up. Uh, So that's a blob. That's a McBlob. So my observation here is that this, the hit the wall effect doesn't actually need to be tiled. So there's no point in actually enabling tiled mode for this section because I want the edges to disappear a little bit, just a little bit. So dot. Let's paste that to this frame, but then let's add a bit more of that intensity. Let's just and let's create a new layer of, let's name this layer glow. Let's call this layer vine. And then let's call the top layer like particles. Okay, so there's no visual continuity for where that one went. Okay, I like this. I like how this animation looks. There's a lot more layers of stuff going on here, and it makes it feel like a bigger thing's happening. I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, so the vine is the texture that's going to get looped, and then the other textures are going to get basically pasted on in some order that I'm not necessarily sure yet. I think this is fine though. So let's export. So let's export vine face.gif. And then let's export the particles layer. Is this necessary though? Yeah. We'll find out. Export as. And then let's export. Okay, and then we go back to the game maker. The create new. Let's group these up so that I'm not gonna lose track of them at any point. Oh shoot, I haven't actually swapped the scene to Game Maker yet. Hold on a minute. Just now why did that one not export properly? Why does it not show up correctly? What? Why is it? Why did it lose its transparency? What? What's going on? That's kind of weird. Great. Great. I love how this is going. This is going great. Shoot. So, I guess that's not happening. Cool. I guess that's just how it's gonna go. Great. Love that for myself. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm definitely not salty. Hang on, let's actually search. Do GIFs support transparency? That's weird. Is the stream showing up? Yes, it is. Okay. That's really weird. That's really weird. Well, I guess I'll just implement this, just put this together for now, and then come back to this later. Maybe that'll be fine. As for the vine sprite itself, I don't think much needs to be changed. I just need to copy these. Okay, so right now if I run this, next effect is the one moment. There's no way this is what's happening. Okay, now that I've enabled interpolate pixel colors, should the Vine effects should no, they don't show up correctly. Dang it. That's really sad. Okay. So that's not the problem. So what is the problem? I don't know. Okay, I feel like I'm to some extent procrastinating making the actual animation here. Okay. How about okay. Is it possible to maybe export? Mm, ah. Okay, maybe this way it'll import correctly. Line effect 6, Vine effect 7, 1, and 7. I don't think 1 and 7 exist, so we're just gonna copy these into GameMaker, into Vines. Does it work? Yes, it works! Wah! I'm sorry, that was a little over the top. Alright. That's okay. So now we just copy that. Go to Vine Effects. Create Vine Effect images. Vine Effect 2 to 6. Vine Effects Sprite. Let's do that. Yeah, that's good. Delete that. Delete the messed up import. So 1, 2, 3. Why is 2 broken here? Look weird. Why does 2 look so weird? Why is that there? the frame rate to 15. Let's center that around there. So now the MacGuffin is achieved by also, let's duplicate the jump effect object, find hit effect object. Change the sprite to vine effect sprite. Draw, yeah. Event inherited. Yeah, that's basically the same thing. So we go to the hook, we add another create, another line to create something else cooler, more height, if you will, to make the effect so much cooler. I'm telling you, it's gonna make it so much better. Vine hit effect object. All right, guess what? We're now 20% full. Holy heck! Wait. So the frame rates of the animations are still correct. Vine sprite is 15 FPS. Vine effect sprite is also 15 FPS. Vine loop particle. Delete selected frame. Let's delete that. Let's edit the image here. Cut that frame from the effect. And then delete that. And then we save, and then we vine loop. Holy heck. This just made, like, 90% of this made the grappling animation, like, so much cooler. Like, actually, look at that. Okay, but how cool does it look on the harder levels? And let's create another layer to the effect. Vine effect. And then let's change the image to our sprites. We have a sprite somewhere. Somewhere it should be called. Player snap. So the snap effect should have some differences in the fact that x is equal to and then we draw using the parent x. Now So for the first 2 frames, it should be fine, but there we go. Now the effect sort of like separates itself. So I think I've added enough layers to this effect, but the player's side of the animation is still lacking, and I all right, that looks pretty good right now. Yeah, that looks nice. The effects looks fine, and there's like a bit of a what's it called, like a sparkling effect, and I like that. I like that sparkling effect. So that's pretty. The grapple effect is done, I guess. I guess. It doesn't feel like I'm giving it the gratuitous sort of. Actually, no, this looks good. Oh, right. There's an issue I forgot to address. I think this problem's probably. I think the problem with like, the grappling effect staying there if the player, even when the player dies, is probably not worth addressing right now. Yeah, it's not worth addressing because I'm going to be making like a death animation so it's not instant. Honestly, the effect is making all of this look so fun. At least in my head, it is. I'm really hyped about the effects. I'm gonna go get some feedback from other people about what they think, but I like it. Now, as for the full screen switching, does that work? Because I tried full screening this. I said I tried full screening this. Hello, Game Maker? Okay, well, whatever. Yeah, I'll be right back. All right, I've updated the changes. Now I'm probably gonna mute for a bit. I need to take a break. I'm very tired. Yep, that's probably good enough. I'm too lazy to bother. All right, I'm back. Hi. It seems like someone has joined the stream finally. I've been at this for a while. Oh, hi. Um, yeah. Uh, welcome to the stream. Uh, the only person watching. Please do not. Please do. Oh gosh, I turned. I forgot to turn off the volume. It's gonna echo now. Shoot, I'm so sorry. Um, yeah. Hello. Um, okay. Hi. Welcome to the stream. Uh, I guess I'm not really, good at streaming. Okay, yeah. See you in a bit, I guess. Meanwhile, I'm going to be here. I'm going to keep working on my game. Although, since it's no longer like, I do want a break from like staring at the code for the game. At some point, it feels like I'm going to start hallucinating, like I'm going to start hallucinating text. So, might as well change what I'm doing for a bit. You know, this is going to be a possibly a variety stream, if you will. The current level looks like this, but yeah. So the way this works is that I'm currently just making this testing if the animations work. The problem is the animation for the grappling doesn't looks like it could use some improvement, but like before that, I'd probably improve like the indication circle around the character to show that you can rebound. So I don't know where to start. But before all of that, I should probably one of the most important reasons why this might not be super fun would be the fact that there's no funny signs. So I should probably add some signs into this game and like a little bit of a story system. So that's probably where I'm gonna do. That's probably what I'm gonna do first. Now that I'm back, I've been here for a while. It says here started stream 12 hours ago. That's a long time, isn't it? It's a really long time. Um, let's heck it. So we need to create another interactable object here. In this case, we're making a signpost. If I can pronounce this correct, can I type it correctly? Signpost. Signpost. No, it's just sign. No, well, okay, you know what? It's not technically correct, but I'll call it signpost because that way I know exactly what it is. So it's not like, what do you mean? Am I writing my signature onto this? No, this is a signpost. Let's go back to ASprite. I'm gonna create a new, let's create a new sprite for this sign. Let's go back to ASprite. I'm gonna use my color palette because I really like my the color palette I came up with for this. I'm gonna create this, load that color palette. Why is that? No, that's not supposed to show up. Okay. All right. So what do we do? Save that as sign.asprite. Switch back to simple thing. Okay. So let's just repeat my previous workflows. So step one, draw, block out the approximate shape of the sign. Should probably have some rougher edges, but not that rough edges kind of thing. It's like not that hard to, okay. Okay. Is that better? No, I have to make the edges a little better, like, I guess, like, yeah, that's fine. That should be good enough. Add a little bit of a, what's it called? Got a bit of smoothing on the sides, a little bit of a fancy, like, gotta give it a little bit of a fancy look, you know? Okay. Okay, that's probably better. That's an interesting sign, but I think it'll be okay. Although it could be easier just to do this. Square. Problem solved. All of my problems are gone. It's square. Square sign. Awesome. I don't know if that's the most creative. Why did my cat enter the room? Hold on. How did you open the door? Get out. Get out. Please stop. Alright, I'm back. Hope y'all having fun. It's not exactly the most interesting stream to watch, I guess. Is it? I'm probably selling myself short, but okay, so that. Okay. Okay. Back to where I was. Now the next step is to probably shade the sign. So that's going to be just going to use the technique of locking the alpha. Let's just lock the transparency and then I guess brush that in. And then let's just go ahead and add on some text onto these signs so that they tell the player something. Hopefully. Now the question is, what do I want the text to look like? Because I could make it just look like it could just make it look like what's it called? Like could just do the enchantment text kind of thing where it just shows up it shows up like just lines on like something so that it looks like it's saying something, but then so that way I can reuse this thing multiple times in the game. Alternatively, it could also be done like could also be done like actually putting the text on there, or it could be funnier. There's a funnier idea, which is what if instead of any of those sane people plans on how to do this, instead I just went ahead and I guess I just attempt to literally write the text on there and just see what happens. How bad could it go? I mean, it's not like there's like a very limited amount of pixels that I'm working with, so How bad could it be, really? It couldn't be that bad. There's no way it's going to be that big of a problem, right? Right? You see, that's a technique we call foreshadowing for when you know this is going to go wrong, but you get it? It's funny. Oh, yeah. The way that I do shading is basically I'm using like a feature that I think exists in most drawing software, which is like lock alpha, which basically you can see that I can draw here. I can like swing my mouse wildly here, but it doesn't like color pixels outside of the originally blocked out shape. This makes it a lot easier to like roughly like feel out the shape of the sign without like having to care a lot about the specific edges, which would be really annoying, especially when you're trying to do shading. So yeah. You know, it's a pro tip of sorts. Except I'm not a pro, but you know, amateur tip, amateur advice, basically. Uh, because to be honest, I'm not super good at this. Um, okay, back to where I was. So now that the shading on here is pretty good, I think I'm happy with it. So maybe, I don't know, what color in the palette should I, wait. Okay, this is a really crazy idea. This is a crazy idea. What if I used a pinkish color or like a reddish color to like highlight parts of the sign? That doesn't look too bad, actually. That doesn't look too bad. What about this pink? I mean, I think I like this. I think that's good. Okay. Now I need to stop getting distracted and actually like think about how do I post the text onto the site, which is actually kind of a funny sort of situation where I don't know what I'm doing. So that's great. I think for the text, I would create a new layer. Oh wow, everyone should probably know this, you know, layers. A very advanced technique that I know. I mean, to be fair, if I were to put that on a resume, I would probably say something like, I understand the deep concept of how layers work in drawing software, which follow the. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about, like, at all. I mean, I think that Minecraft, like, enchantment text is probably fine. You know, something like this. And then when the player walks up, it'll pop up something instead. Like this. Now let's erase that. Looks like there's text on there. And then now I should probably also create a separate frame for it where all of it is highlighted. So probably do something like I wonder what happens if I highlight like the text up front. Should be interesting. Yeah, let's if the player's interacting with it, I should probably create a light outline somehow. Not sure how the outline should look. Alternatively, that looks terrible. Probably just make the outline for the lower layer. So I guess I'm gonna do that. No, copy it, delete, paste it, copy it. No, why is it? There we go. Okay, and then edit. Let's give it a fancy outline, perhaps. Highlight it with yellow so it's like, ooh, this is obviously interactable. You see, these are advanced game developing tricks that you should tell your friends about. How, you know, you. This is sarcasm, obvious. I mean, like, it's not super advanced. It's just like basics of like, you need to tell the player what's going on, and a good way to do that is like, oh, this thing lights up. I mean, it's not like a hard and fast rule, but it's good to sometimes tell the player, here's a thing you can do. Anyways, let's go back to Game Maker. Making games. Yeah, it's a very fancy yellow glow, as you can see. It's actually like super advanced. It's actually like, actually, I'm like an expert. I am an expert in this field of the sarcasm is a bit much. Sarcasm is definitely a bit much. All right, so we export it as a export it as GIF. Yes, export. And then we go back to Game Maker. Let's find the exported file. Should be on my desktop. Yes, I don't really know how to organize stuff, so that's just how it goes. It's fine. It's totally fine. I'm sure that someone's gonna come back later and scream at me about this, but my organizational skills are fine. Source, trust me. Okay, let's just put that in sprites. Let's import it. Let's call it. Let's make sure the name is descriptive. Like signpost sprite. And then we go back to the signpost, and then we set the sprite of it. This. By the way, do y'all want to know something kind of funny? I actually use like there's like this really funky thing that happens with Game Maker, where it's like if you like with keyboard layouts, it's really weird. I think I need to explain myself a little bit, because I have like I'm gonna go off topic for a bit. I'll get back to coding in a minute, but I think that it's actually an interesting thing to talk about with like Game Maker and its sort of inconsistent like key binding nonsense. I'm gonna use Sprite as like the software for like as like the whiteboard that I'm just gonna like write stuff on to explain what I'm thinking. So, like, chat, you want to hear about this? It's like, it's really weird that this is how it works, but I'm sure it's fine. So if you have you have your fancy keyboard here. It's a very good illustration of your keyboard. You have keys. Let's say you have the button A here. Say you have the A button here. Okay, so with the way the Game Maker works is that you can see here, go back here, the way that you detect inputs in Game Maker is that you basically ask the game engine, hey, was this button pressed, or like listen for a button press event, right? That's cool and all. That's fine. You give it the key code. So what's the symbol? Like, what does that symbol stand for? And like, what is the number that represents that symbol? And you give it to Game Maker, and the Game Maker says, oh, that's what you are looking for, like answers on what's pressed. Let me check if it's pressed, and then it tells you yes or no, or you can listen for events for the key code as well. That's fine. The problem with Game Maker is that key code is actually really strange on how it works. I don't know if this is a problem with like the specific version of Game Maker or if it's a platform issue, but basically on a MacBook, the key codes check for specifically like, okay, so if you're on a Mac, GameMaker says, okay, you have this thing, you have this A button, this here, this will translate to every time, no matter what keyboard layout the player is using, this, when you ask GameMaker, is the button A pressed, it'll always give you back this. It'll always tell you, okay, that button is pressed or it isn't. But let's say that you have, hypothetically, a different keyboard layout, like I do. I have a really weird keyboard layout with I have like this really weird keyboard layout with like where I use where like all the common, like where the home row is really weird and all that. I feel like it might be better just to type this out. So if I just move my finger across the home row of my keyboard, this is what it looks like. Right. That's the home row of my keyboard. So when I use GameMaker on my MacBook, it doesn't care that I'm using a different keyboard layout, and it always detects like the positions as if the buttons were like normal QWERTY layouts, where it's like the S button is here, the D button is here, and the A button is here, and W is up there, you know, the standard. But on my Windows computer, I have to keep switching keyboard layouts between, because when I'm typing code, right, for example, let's say, so just as an example, let's go back to GameMaker and let's finish typing out the code for the signpost. I'm currently using the Dvorak keyboard layout, so it does this funny thing where it's like you know, you gotta type out stuff like let's say for the sake of argument that so let's say we want to create a function in the step function that's in step, where it's like, actually, no, that's probably a bad idea. It's probably better if I detected a specific collision with the player. So here we can check for like, and now I'm typing using the Dvorak keyboard layout, but then when I'm going back and I'm like doing the whole, like if I'm going back and doing a whatever thing where I'm like typing where I'm like testing out the game, GameMaker says, oh, you want to test out the game? I don't understand what inputs that is. Why are you pressing the E button when you should be pressing the S button or something? And it's like, it becomes a real headache, so I have to swap keyboard layouts. So if anyone ever sees me like typing in a jumble of letters, it's probably because I forgot to switch the keyboard layout after actually like testing the game as I'm doing here. So probably going to, let's go to room 1. Let's put a signpost like just here. Let's put in our little signpost, scale of 3, because that's how big the signpost should be. Yay. Should probably paste it onto a background layer. Why do we have an instances 1 layer? That's kind of weird, kind of irrelevant. Let's name it something more descriptive. The background objects layer. We can we can paste that sign into the background, and then we can be sure to also set the grid size to the updated one, which was 32. No, 36. Oh right, 18. 18 by 18 grid. It's just drag and drop, you know, it's nothing fancy. So we put up a sign there, and then we can check in the player's code like, no, I should probably do this here. So if it collides with the player, we can create a step function where it's like if. So my line of thinking is that it's just going to highlight itself and with a countdown of sorts. So we have like hover time equals 0, and then if it collides with player, hover time increments by delta time rescale to 60 frames, and then hover time is greater than, let's say, if it's greater than 30 frames, then let's actually define the 30 frames as a variable here, because it's probably going to be reused at certain parts in the code. So something like here, if it's oh shoot, I am so sorry. The sound effects. Oh gosh, okay. I should probably turn that down in that case. The sound effect is I think it was because the audio output capture kind of captured it too loud. Sorry about that. Shoot. Would have never actually noticed that if I was just streaming like on my own all the time. Gosh. Okay. So here we have a, say, no, need to define it as something like hover delay is equal to 30. So that way, when it collides with the player, if no, actually this is probably not the best way to do it, because that, I don't know if that follows how long like a step in the game takes. So here we just if place meeting, so we're checking for collisions at its position, player. So if we're colliding with a player, then we do this, and then otherwise we hover time minus equals delta time rescale to 60, and then if hover time is less than 0, if hover time greater than 0, okay, so I don't know if this is actually the best way to do it. I think it's like if hover time is less than the max hover delay, then hover time is incremented by that. So that way it takes some amount of time to get to the full, and then what? And then like I guess that way I can animate stuff based on that. Like let's create a function that's like function get delay get hover percent get show percent, or like what do I call this? Get hover percent, and then I will just I'll return hover time divided by hover delay, and then that could be, you can return that clamp. Is that a function? Clamp the value between a minimum and a maximum. Okay, so that is a function. So we can clamp it between a minimum of 0 and maximum of 1. So it doesn't like, so the slight offsets here shouldn't really make a difference. Pro tip, by the way, if you ever want to write code that isn't a terrible mess, consider trying to section off certain pieces of code where it's like you're doing something that's mostly separate from everything else, but it's sort of it's like make sure to not repeat yourself and make sure your code doesn't like do many things at once in the same section of code. But that's more like advanced level, or like, well, quote unquote advanced level of coding stuff. It's just keep your code organized by using functions to section off repeated usage of code, because who doesn't love being lazy, right? Sorry, I should probably not go into lecture mode. Not even that good at explaining things. Heck, I'm really bad at explaining things, if I'm being honest. But that's fine. That's okay. That's okay. Okay. So, as I was saying, so we clamp the thing, then I guess we can also right, I forgot about something critically important. The signpost, we have to set the frame rate to 0. The reason for this is because currently the game engine treats it as an animation. So if the frame rate is like 10, this is what it'll look like. Which in my opinion might be a little bit too what happened to subtlety, right? So probably just like put in 0 frames per second to make sure that it's not actually animating itself, which would be very helpful if it didn't animate itself or whatever, because we want to do the animation manually. So set the frame rate to 0. And then we set the image index to 1 if it's players hovering over it. Otherwise, image index is equal to 0. So that way it only renders the outline sprite if the player is colliding with it. So the collisions should be done. Now we need to actually modify like the hint that's attached to it. Oh, cool! Look at this. Look at that. Whoa! If you get close to it and you can interact with it, it gets outlined. Very fancy coding. And the reason I'm able to do these advanced coding techniques is because I'm a witch or whatever. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I don't. I really don't. I'm just guessing, and it's fine. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Okay. So I guess the idea is like the signs should be like, the sign will like, once you're hovering over it, it'll actually show up the hints that are currently just shown regardless. But like being hints, they shouldn't just be all over the screen all the time. So that's probably something I gotta do. Something I gotta change here. Also, the same thing happens here. You can see the lamp is off, and then when you get close enough, it lights up. And the reason is like it indicates the checkpoint where you're at. So if you die, you get returned to the lamp. It's like it's a cool indication. Fancy stuff. Also, I mean, I guess take a moment to appreciate the actual grappling animation, right? I've put so much effort into, quite a bit of effort into making this like as gratuitous of an animation as possible. You can see there's so many layers that are being used here that it's kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It's a lot of layers. You have the particle effects of the point where it hits, you have the actual vine itself, and you have some leftover particles that are a little subtle, but if you look for them, you can actually see them very clearly. Where was I? Oh, right. the signs. So that sign should show up that hint, which how would I do that? It's a really good question actually. How would I do that? I mean, because the hints have to have a way of knowing where the sign wants the hints to be shown up. I can't always have the hints. Actually, wait. Why can't I have the hints always just like on the same spot? Why shouldn't that be the case? Guess I could just be lazy, yeah. Oh my gosh. Professional laziness. That's what my job is here. It's professionally being lazy. So want to sign at the starting point for the player to like figure out, because that way if the player spawns on it, they will immediately get prompted with a hint that they should probably hit A and D to move left and right, and then that'll yeah, that'll do something, I guess. I'm sure that it will. Probably. Honestly, this is just like, I'm gonna describe this as just like welcome to me not knowing how to code. Wait, I can pin messages? Hold on, I have no idea how to live stream apparently. Alright, how does this work? I think I'm just bad at this. I'll figure it. Wait, no, I accidentally deleted the message. I thought I was supposed to unpin it. I thought that. I feel like at this point, this stream deserves to be called. Somebody clearly doesn't know how to code or use YouTube. Although I think I know how to code much better than how I know to use YouTube. So that's fine. That's whatever. It's whatever. It's fine. I'm good at this. I don't know if there's like a particular delay, but yeah. So I'm guessing here we're gonna put the sign there, and then we need this to pop up. So what if how do I okay, I guess I could just guess I probably should use like a sort of object like hint display play object. Very descriptive of itself. It's a thing that just displays hints. Cool. Then we can grab hint 1. Then we can add an event. Like, I guess we can change it so that when it draws itself, and also I should probably create a variable that here that defines it like parent object. So where is like what is its parent object or whatever. All right, bye. See ya. Have a good day. I will be here forever. That was a joke. I should probably also take a break after a while, but yeah. Not exactly sure if I'm the most entertaining kind of person. I'm probably also, heck, I should probably pin a comment about like check out the game at shameless self-promotion at, okay, copy that, paste it. I should remember to pin comments. I mean, pin live messages. Shoot. I don't know how to describe this. It seems like to me that my bitrate here is getting completely train wrecked. I don't know what's happening to my internet, but that's just how it is. That's just how it is. It's really unfortunate. Gosh, why does it keep doing this? My internet is actually dying. Chat, my internet's gonna die. I'm gonna get exploded off the internet as well. Just, you know, extra damage, right? It's fun. We're having fun. Or whatever the heck it's called. Okay, how about draw sprite. Sprite. Okay, so that will probably work fine. And then the next step is just go back to signpost, go to the create thing, and then instance. Now we can just delete the hints and make the hints part of the game world, which will be, or it could crash. Hold on, I need to actually, it would be actually fun if I also included the crash window. Let's set that up real quick. Crashed. There we go. Code error. Match. See? This is beautiful. Now we get to see what code error is making me die inside. So it's value is not set. Oh, great. I forgot. Oh, great. An example of my incompetence. I forgot to set the actual. I forgot to set the actual asset here. Let's find our sprite hints. Let's take a hint 1, and then let's run it again. Still crashed. What am I doing wrong? What did I do wrong? Hold on. Hint. Oh, that's capitalized. Why is that capitalized? Okay, that's why it went wrong. Okay. Yeah, okay, so whoa! That looks so cool. I did not think that this thing I made would look so cool. I'm good at game development, guys. Is anyone here? Accidental comedy. Complete accidental comedy right here. Actually, wait. Why would I add it there? I can instead put this here. In the draw step here, we just image x. No, we change it to pixel size. And then image y scale to pixel size. Ooh, scary pixel size. The pixels are. I can't continue the joke. Oh, nice. Okay, so that's really cool, actually. I like how it looks. Now I just need to go back to the hints and actually like make the hints look better. Or I could just not do that, actually. Actually, I choose that I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to move the center point of the hint to a more appropriate location so that it actually centers correctly. And then now we go here. Now that is pretty cool. And now I just have to repeat it for every single hacking hint ever. You know, I'm starting to regret my decisions. But it's fine. The game looks better, therefore it's better. Is that even a logical... Is that even logic? Am I logicking? I don't think I'm logicking, guys. Guys, I think I'm failing to logic. Okay, next hint. Spacebar equals jump. Alright, great. I'm sure the audience needs that hint. So I will diligently put that hint into the game world and explain to the player, this is how you play the game. Wow, I am so advanced. Okay, so let's copy that, paste that, grab it, put it here. Let's put this like right next to this ledge. So it's like, it's a pretty obvious explanation as to what's going on. I hope. I mean, I really hope, because if it isn't, we have a problem. So I guess then we can change the fact that change the variables, set the hint 1 to actually sprites, right. Hints. No, why am I choosing hint 1? Hints, hint 2. Oh wow. This makes the game instantly like 20 times cooler. There's now fancy effects. The window dressing is so much better now. Oh gosh. Do games always like look kind of garbage when you start working on them, and then at some point they just stop looking garbage, or is that just, or am I tripping? Oh no, I ruined the other hints. Okay, well, I guess I need to go back and fix those. One step at a time, right? One step at a time. But in my opinion, the signposts they seem like they look a bit too big for what they do. So let's just, I'm gonna do something really cursed. So if y'all really, really care a lot about pixel art looking good, please avert your eyes, because I'm about to scale it down by a very random factor. I mean, I guess in one sense, everyone's averted their eyes. It's fine. Okay, so let's grab that as brush. Brush, 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 brush. We brush the brush, the brush, the brush. Exactly. So brush. at some moment in this process, I realized, hey, wait a minute, I'm an idiot. Why am I doing this in Game Maker? And I realized, oh, I am really missing the point our time. I guess you could say I'm missing the mark. Because I'm guessing it's how it feels to draw with this. It's like trying to draw fine details with a marker. Gosh, okay. I'm trying to draw fine details with like a massive marker because drawing this in Game Maker, you know, it's a bit of a different experience. I'll say that much. It's bad, okay? Game Maker's drawing is bad. Why would you need a stamp? Sorry, I got a little carried away. In my defense, I still don't understand why anyone would need a stamp, but whatever, I guess. I'm gonna mute up for a bit. I'm just gonna vibe to some music. Working on a game for a long time is kind of hard. If anyone has questions, please ask them in the chat. Alright, hello everyone, I'm back. I've done my job here. I've finished the hints showing up with the signs. Should probably make a background and parallax effect soon. That'll be for next stream. Today I should probably go. I'm really friggin' tired. Oh gosh, I just swore, didn't I? I'm really potato tired, and I gotta take a rest. Bye. See y'all. Have a great day, and stay hydrated or whatever the heck. Bye.